Good morning, everyone. This is Russell Rucker, and I'm here for another constitutional talk. And today I thought we'd get into our main document, and we start looking at Article 1, Section 3, which deals with a census. And I'd just like to read a little part of it to you for you. And this is from my book, Textualism and Originalism in Our Constitutional Republic, which goes through our Constitution and attempts to explain it from an originalist and textualist point of view. The Constitution states in Section 3, the Senate of the United States shall be composed of 2 senators from each state, chosen by the legislature thereof for 6 years. And each senator shall have 1 vote. Now, the whole purpose of having 1 vote and having a branch that has an equality among the states is so that one state or group of states cannot run over another single state or another group of states. That's the whole purpose of it. But I want to move on a little bit to explain to you a little more purpose of our Senate and the way it was originally designed. Now, the Senate would take place, and it goes on and explains it here. I guess I should read it to you. Immediately after they shall be assembled in consequence of the first election. So as soon as they're elected, they shall be divided as equally as may be into 3 classes. Now, these classes basically are up every 2 years. You have 1/3 of the Senate. The seats of the senators of the first class shall be vacated at the expiration of the 2nd year, and of the 2nd class at the expiration of the 4th year, and the 3rd class at the expiration of the 6th year, so that 1/3 may be chosen every 2nd year. This is so that the Senate cannot be changed in a single election, and some kind of issue that comes up that could be really hot among the minds of the people will be secured in the Senate by virtue of not being able to pass it so quickly. It slows down the Senate and allows for a better kind of a cooling chamber, as I've discussed before, or as Washington discussed, it's like the coffee in your saucer. It's there to cool it, so hot tempers can be cool. Okay, but it goes on here. So the 1/3 may be chosen every 2nd year. And if vacancies happen by resignation or otherwise during the recess of the legislature of any state, the executive thereof may make temporary appointments until the next meeting of the legislature, which shall then fill vacancies. So your executive authority, meaning your governor, he can make an appointment, a recess appointment. But that recess of the legislature of any state, the executive thereof may make temporary appointments until the next meeting of the legislature. So if the legislator appoints Jim Smith, for instance, and I just pulled the name out of the hat. So say he appoints Jim Smith, and the legislature comes back and decides, we don't want Jim Smith, we got Anthony Brigadier. So Anthony Brigadier would then be allowed. Time again, when you go through the original section of the Constitution, the governorships really aren't that important. They saw the legislature as the most important. The legislature was to be above all else. And it's for this reason that this idea that the legislature is supreme and the governor or the president is only there to administrate what the legislature approves of. So they're more of an administrative capacity to enforce the law that the House and Senate approved. And I think that's an important thing, and one I'd really like to take away from today is the importance of the legislature. Even in your electoral college, it allows the legislature to make those appointments. But there's something else that has to be discussed here too. Okay, and that is the senator shall be composed of 2 senators from each state chosen by the legislature. See, there's no election. As we have today, we have an election of senators along with those of the House. But here they're chosen by the legislature. Why do you suppose that is? They're chosen by the legislature because in so choosing by the legislature, that gives the states power over the Senate. And it gives this whole idea that your senators are supposed to represent your state, not the people. The House is where the people are supposed to be represented. And I think that's an important distinction even today. And we'll get into the 17th Amendment to show what goes on there a little later. But this was the original intent. And I think that's important to understand as you go through the Constitution exactly what they were trying to do. And time has changed things. So our Constitution has been changed over time, and that's not something that was done lightly. But I do still think you need to understand the original intent of our founders. And with that, I hope you take away something from this talk, and we'll catch you next time on the next Constitutional Talk. You folks have a good day for now. Bye.